Hey guys, I wanted to make another video for you today, show you some of the cooking things that I brought along on our trip. But I'm going to go outside and show you the area that we're camped, and it's going to be windy, so I'm just going to go out there and do a quick panoramic view, and then I'll be back in here to talk about some of our stuff that we brought along. There's Milo. And there's Miss Maggie laying there in one of her favorite spots, right in front of the door. Anyway, I just wanted to talk about some of the things that we brought along at home. I love to cook, and a lot of the stuff, well, I sold basically everything I had. Because, stuff you have at home is just way too heavy. You have to think about the weight that's in your trailer when you do this, because every little bit counts. One of the first things I'd like to talk about is this Magma cookware set that I bought. They are 1810 stainless steel, and these are actually, got this off of eBay from a place called Spinnaker Gems, and it's what a lot of the boat people use. It stacks together. It comes with these two handles, and they just slide right on, and it's got the one lid that fits the frying pan and the Dutch oven, and then it's got this one lid here that fits these three smaller pans that are inside, and they all stack in there. And then these little things here, they kind of keep stuff from rattling around together, because if they didn't, these little grooves right here where the handles attach would dig into the pan and ruin it. But I love them. They're great. I like the way they all stack together, and then it fits right underneath the stove, my little compartment there. And then it comes with this bungee that you stretch it across, and it'll attach right here on that handle. And then it comes with these two handles here. And of course I have one Teflon skillet that I use for, eggs, pancakes, that sort of thing. I had a whole bunch of Lodge skillets at home, but I only brought one. And the towel, I put that across the top, and then I flip that upside down, and it keeps the lid from rattling around as we're going down the road as well. And I bought this can cooker here, or I should say I got it for my birthday or something like that. Works great. It's kind of a cross between a crock pot and a pressure cooker. And it's got a little hole there for where the steam comes out when you're cooking. And on the inside there, it has these racks that you can see. You can take those out. They come in halves. And depending on what you're cooking, you want to use those. Keeps your food up off the bottom, because you have to have at least 12 ounces of water or some sort of fluid in there, whether it's broth, water, beer, wine, whatever you prefer to cook with. And you just dump all your food in there, and then you latch these down on both sides, and you put it on the stove. You can use it on the stove, you can use it on a campfire, you could use it on the barbecue, just heat up some briquettes to get your heat going. It's multi-use and makes a really good stew, chili, anything like that you can think of. And as far as how we do our coffee in the morning, we don't have a coffee maker, but we do have this little black backpacking teapot made by Primus. It holds about a quart of water, which is good for about 2 cups of coffee in the morning. If you want to make more coffee, just heat up more water. And we have one of these little Melita #2 coffee filters. Just put the filter in there, your coffee, heat up your water, just sits right on top of your coffee mug. And then we have this. I bought this. This is a Burr coffee grinder. I opted for this because you know you don't always have power. Dump your beans in there and you have to crank on it, but it works really well. Don't have any complaints about it at all. Works really good. Also, at home I had a whole bunch of Pyrex type bowls, heavy duty stuff. Had them for years, but again, you have to think about the weight of everything you're bringing along. So I found these stackable plastic bowls, and they have lids. They all fit inside. Use it for when I'm making bread. Just leave it in there, put the lid on it. My dough, bread dough, pizza dough, whatever I'm making will just fit in there. Use it for all kinds of stuff. Works great. Also have a cast iron waffle maker. We had an electric waffle maker at home, but this actually makes better waffles. You just heat it up, put it on the stove, let it heat up. Of course, you want to spray it with Pam or something like that. Put your batter in there, close it up, and you just flip it over a couple times during the cooking process, and makes really nice crispy on the outside waffles and moist on the inside waffles. Another good thing, I believe this is made by Rome, and trying to think where I got that. I got it off some little store online. I just can't remember. And one of my things that I really do enjoy is this GSI Outdoors Dutch oven. And of course all the stuff is on the bed. It's just too windy to be outside. You wouldn't even be able to hear me, which some of you might think is a good thing. But it's a 14-inch aluminum Dutch oven. It weighs about 8 pounds compared to about 25, maybe even 30 pounds for the same size in cast iron. The inside of it is anodized, so it wipes out with just like a damp rag. It's super easy to clean up. The other thing that I've learned is this is a cake cooling rack. You can see the little feet there. And a lot of times what I do is I set that in there. I found this pan, did some research. It's called Fat Daddy-O's. It's a 10 by 3 inch. You can use it for, I use it for making bread or pizza, anything like that you want to make. Or the other thing I make is like an enchilada bake, and I just put it in that, set it on top of that rack in there, put the lid on it with the briquettes top and bottom, and then all you have to do is clean out that pan. Also makes great pizza. I've made anything from pizza to lasagna, roasts. I've made cinnamon rolls, bread, all kinds of stuff in it. It just takes a little practice. Plus you have to have the lid lifter, so when your briquettes are on there, you have a way to take that lid off and check on your food. Plus you need to turn it every so often just so it doesn't get a hot spot and burn what you're cooking inside. One of the other things I found, I had a seal-a-mail at home, And I found this. This is one that actually has a rechargeable battery. It's just handheld. And with our little inverter that we have, we can actually charge it, even when we're not hooked up to power. And you just use these little bags, put your food in there, seal it up. Where this little tab is here, that's where that will go once you get your food in there. You just hit the button and it will suck all the air out of it, and so that way when you're shopping for your weekly supplies, if you come along something that is a really good buy, you can still get it and save some money. And I had a food processor at home too. I got rid of that too, because you just can't, like I said, you can't bring everything because it's just too big and heavy, bulky. And of course, again, doing research, I found this. It's called a Pro Chopper. It's just a manual hand crank food processor. It works really good. You can put, I've put like a couple of potatoes in there, quartered them up with some onion, green pepper, that sort of thing. And it will chop it up, makes great hash browns. And then it comes with all these different attachments. Comes with cheese grater, different slicing things, you know, like if you want to slice potatoes, make French fries, whatever you like. It comes with a juicer for making fresh orange juice. Comes with a lid, so after you chop up your stuff, you can just snap the lid on top of there. Of course, it has one of these, so like if you're slicing potatoes, you know, you don't want to cut your hands. And then this attachment here, this would replace this, and then these little gadgets here slide into that, so you don't have to bring along a cheese grater, all that stuff. You have it all with this here. And then this little attachment here is a paddle, so like if you're making a cake mix or something, you just put that inside of there. It replaces the blade, and as you're turning it, it would just mix up your batter. It's an awesome little gadget. I'm glad I got it. And this is a pizza peel. Of course, I'm sure everybody knows what that is, but when I make pizza in the Dutch oven, this works really good for getting the pizza out. But when I do make pizza in the Dutch oven, I always put parchment paper in there, and I put a little bit of cornmeal down before I put my dough in on top of it. And when it's done, all you have to do is grab the parchment paper, slide the peel underneath it, and it comes right out. It's one of those things I learned from watching some of the YouTube videos. And then this is my homemade rolling pin. I had a great big one at home, and you know that rolling pins can be kind of heavy. So I went to the local hardware store and bought just a hardwood 1-inch dowel. I think we cut it to maybe around 20 inches or so, and it works good. Just sanded it and got it all nice and smooth, and as long as you put some flour on it, just like you would your regular rolling pin, it doesn't stick to anything, and it works good. But yeah, anyway, that's pretty much my cooking things that I have for inside the RV here. Like I said, you have to take everything into account as far as weight, where it'll fit, all those kinds of things, because you know the weight does matter. You don't want to have your rig overloaded. Anyway, I hope this has been helpful and give you guys some ideas, and we'll talk to you soon.